Hey guys, coming in for the series premiere of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Season 1, Episode 1, Josh Just Happens to Live Here. Now, I really didn't know what this show was going to be. I really wasn't sure for a number of reasons. One of them being that I knew this was supposed to be a half-hour show for Showtime, but then got changed to an hour show for the CW, and that could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. You know, Showtime and CW are two very different networks that have very different rules, and yeah, CW sometimes does take some risks, definitely. That's what I'm trying to say. They take some risks, but they are not Showtime. You can't do some of the things you can do on Showtime on the CW, so obviously I was worried about that. Also, I knew this show was a musical, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work either, because it just didn't seem like a show that needed to be one. And also, I knew this was on right before Jane the Virgin. It had the same kind of humor as Jane the Virgin, but lightning doesn't always strike twice, so I was kind of skeptical, and even when I heard good reviews, I still went into this kind of not knowing really what I was getting into, just because, you know, I didn't want to be disappointed, so I went in pretty blind, and I have to say, after watching this pilot, damn, this surprised me. I have to say, this Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, this pilot, is probably the best pilot I have seen so far for the fall 2015 TV season. I mean, this was incredible. There is not one thing in this show that I do not love. Everything about the show I absolutely love. Everything about this show is great, and I really see the show having the potential to become one of my favorite shows on TV right now. Honestly, it really seems like it's going to, and there's just so much to love about this show in general. And yes, the plot is kind of stupid, but the thing is that it's kind of parodying things like that, and that's something I definitely really love about the show. But let's get to the plot of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is pretty simple overall. I really do love the plot of this show, though. That was the one thing I was worried about, is that the plot seemed very generic and very silly, but that's why it works so well, because we basically follow this girl, Rebecca Bunch, and she was 16. When she was 16, for 2 weeks, she dated this guy, Josh Chan, and he broke up with her because he felt that she was too dramatic and she overreacted to me things. He didn't want to deal with all the drama. Her mother, as well, was also very much, you know, focused on your future, and your future is the only thing that matters. It didn't really let her do anything fun, so she took her out of camp, and flash forward to the present time, and Rebecca is now in a state of just depression. She's kind of just, she has a really good job, but she doesn't feel happy, and after seeing a commercial that's like, when was the last time you were happy, she basically wants to, she basically starts to rethink about it, and one day she actually meets up with Josh Chan in New York City, who basically tells her that he's now moving to West Covina, California, and she decides to follow him there, which she claims she's there because she gets a job opportunity as well, and basically she goes there to get a fresh new start, and basically she does whatever she can to track down Josh, but also get her life together, and that basically is the plot of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And there's really a lot I love about the show. It's so much more than just that plot, and that's something I think is fantastic here. Now, one of the things that definitely makes the show is the cast. The cast is one of the most solid ensembles I have seen in a very long time. Every actor here is extremely committed to the role. Every actor really did an amazing job, and I really think everyone had, just in this episode, some time to shine, really. I don't think there was anyone that didn't have a shining moment. I think everyone really had something. But specifically, the thing that makes this is Rachel Bloom. Now, Rachel Bloom, first of all, she actually is a YouTuber. She's a very famous YouTuber. I did not know about this, but she is a YouTuber. She makes silly videos. She knows what's funny, and she knows what people like. So that's another reason why the show works so well, because of Rachel Bloom. She is in control of pretty much everything. She does everything for the show, but she is spot on as Rebecca Bunch. She is just perfect. The thing I love about Rebecca Bunch, the character, is that she is your basic anti-hero. You don't really like her character much, obviously, because she's stalkerish. She's stalking this guy who probably doesn't even like her that much. You don't really know what to think of her, but I kind of felt bad for her because there's a reason why she is crazy, because of her mother. Her mother's pushed her and made her this way, and I think it was definitely very well done, but she also had such great comedic timing. I mean, she was so funny throughout this entire episode, and I thought she was just fantastic, and the whole show, we're trying to figure out, is she really crazy or not, and I really don't think she is crazy. I think she's just simply has an obsession, and she, she uses this to drive her life because that's the thing that made her happy, and that's kind of what's going on with that. But I think she did a very good job overall. She was so funny, and I can't wait to see how she is in future episodes, because this is definitely a star in the making. She is fantastic, definitely. Santino Fontana, I was also looking forward to, because of course he is a Broadway actor, and he is in, he was in Cinderella, he was also Hans in Frozen, and he is spot on as well as Greg. And Greg, you can tell, does have feelings for Rebecca, and he's also best friends with Josh Chan, so of course Rebecca uses him kind of just to get closer to Josh, and he really doesn't see it, but eventually he is going to see it, and it's sad for his character, but he does a really great job. He had some really funny lines in the episode. The way he was flirting with Rebecca, I thought was definitely very funny, and he definitely did a very good job. But probably the biggest surprise for me was Donna Lynne Champlin as Paula. Holy shit, is she great. I absolutely love the character of Paula, because Paula right away can tell that Rebecca's not just here because of this job. There's something else going on with her. She doesn't really know what it is, but there's something going on. She wants to investigate further, and the tension between these two is really great. And when she eventually realizes what Rebecca's doing, she does actually want to help her. And I liked how towards the end, this is a spoiler if you guys haven't seen the episode, but I liked how towards the end, she actually told Rebecca, look, I understand, you're in love with Josh, you really love him, so why don't you go and get him? And it does seem like Paula might end up being just as crazy as Rebecca, and I think that definitely is very crazy. I like the bonding between these two. She's very funny, and especially these two together, as an ensemble, they're definitely really great. And Vincent Rodriguez as well as Josh Chan, I really like his character. He doesn't seem like a bad guy by any means. He doesn't seem like a dick, and he just seems like a nice guy overall. Do I think he has feelings for Rebecca? I think deep down he does. But we find out next week that he actually has another girlfriend. So, and we find out in this episode as well that he has a girlfriend. So, that's not going to end up well, and we'll have to see what happens there. We didn't really meet the character of Heather in this episode. I don't really remember who she was. If we did get introduced to her, I don't really remember her that well, just because she didn't really have anything to do. But Pete Gardner as Daryl, I absolutely love his character. He is as nervous of a boss as you can imagine. He's just trying to make a great impression on Rebecca. You would think that Rebecca is the boss and that he is the person working for her. That's how nervous he is. He's so funny in this role. I really loved his character, and I can't wait to see where the bonding between him and Rebecca go. Overall, everyone is fantastic in this show. I think everyone really did an amazing job, and there really wasn't a single person that I think was bad. The directing to the show is spot on. It's so funny. It's not taking itself too seriously at all, and a lot of times it's poking fun at romantic comedies, very much poking fun at romantic comedies. It does have some dramatic moments here and there. Like I said, the storyline is pretty dark, with Rebecca trying to find her life and get her life together, but I like that they handle it in a comedic way, because if it was dramatic, it would be too typical, and that's what makes it not typical, is that it's meant to be funny. And the thing that works so well, though, is the writing, which is written by Rachel Bloom, and that's why I think the writing is so good, is because she knows what's funny and what's not, and she had so many funny jokes just in this episode. I mean, one of my favorite scenes by far is when she's trying to text Josh, and she, is trying to figure out what to send him, because I think we all go through that period where we like someone and we're trying to text them, and we have no idea what to send to them. She's literally like a teenager. That's how much she hasn't gone to live. She's like a teenager. She's trying to text him. She has no idea what to say. It's very funny. I definitely love that. But the scene that killed me so much was after that, when she thinks he texts him back, and it's actually like saying, would you like to upgrade to this? It's like through text. It's like, your data plan is like this, and it's like, we all get text messages like that. It's the most annoying thing ever when your phone texts you like ads just to join things. It's so annoying, especially when you're waiting for someone to text you and it doesn't happen. It was such a funny scene, and that had me gut-busting laughing. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was really great, and I really enjoyed that scene as well. And also, the episode was just really a really great introduction as well. I think the writing was just really solid. It was really interesting. The characters were really interesting as well, and it wasn't boring either. I was worried that because it was made from half an hour to an hour, they would be kind of boring and things would stretch out, but I think they did a really good job with stretching it out to an hour, because honestly, I don't think the show should have been a half an hour. I think maybe there are points where, yeah, it could have been, but I don't think the show would have been as funny if it wasn't an hour. That really is what made it so funny, is that they're able to, by increasing it, they were able to put more humor in there, and that's what made it so funny, and I definitely, really love that. I also love the scene where, you know, Rebecca and Daryl have that small awkward moment where he says that she's Jewish and she gets all mad about that. That was absolutely hilarious. And then the recurring joke of West Covina, California being 4 miles away from the beach, but people say 2 miles, and then Greg says, well, you know, we're actually 4 miles away from, and this was in the trailer, he's like, well, you know, we're actually 4 miles away from the beach. People say 2 miles because they're stupid, and I thought that was definitely a very funny line. I really enjoyed that line too. The dialogue is just so great on this show. It's so sharp, it's so funny, and I really love all the dialogue in the show. It's just great. I love it. The cinematography is amazing, honestly. The cinematography looks fantastic, mainly because of the musical numbers, which is the thing that I was most worried about. I didn't know how the show was going to work as a musical show, but it makes so much sense because that's when Rebecca was happy. She was in this summer camp and she did theater. She did South Pacific, and when they reference South Pacific, I'm like, I'm going to love this show. They referenced South Pacific. She was in South Pacific, and that's when she was with Josh, and that makes sense why she bursts out into song. But the thing I love about it is that it's different kinds of musical numbers. No, they're very, like, they're not the same. The first one we got was a big Broadway-style number. You know, you guys probably saw on the trailer, West Covina, California, which was very funny and definitely much parodied Broadway shows and how cheesy it can be. You know, people can just randomly burst out into song over the stupidest of stuff. And I thought it was definitely a really great song, though. I honestly really like it, and I'd probably buy it on iTunes. However, the sexy Getting Ready song, that is the song for me that I thought was the best in this episode. It was so funny. The fact that she's making fun of, like, Britney Spears and pop singers, things like that, it's just so funny the way she did that. And what made it even funnier is when we see Rebecca, she's doing all these things, and she's, you know, it's just this is disastrous routine, but she's still trying to look sexy. She's trying to look good for Josh, and, you know, even though she's going on a date with Greg, she's hoping Josh is going to be there. It's very funny, and I definitely really love that, and also, the rapper at the end of that song just killed me. The scene at the end where he's sending apology letters to every single girl being like, I'm sorry I put you in this video, I'm sorry I made you do this, is just so funny, and I love that. It's kind of making fun of how, you know, disrespectful music videos can be and how women can be objectified a certain way. I thought that was definitely very funny, and I really enjoyed that, and the cinematography in those scenes are fantastic. The ensembles as well, they go all out. I mean, the choreography is nuts in West Covina, California. It's a crazy number. Just that number alone. It's so impressive because it's a comedy show. It shouldn't have these big production numbers, but they really do. I mean, this show, you can tell, cost a lot to make because it's huge production numbers. They actually are shooting in California, you can tell. They're shooting in California, and they look amazing. The ensembles are great. I love the part with the band, and then she's like, see you later, band. I thought that was really funny when the band just went away. I love that as well. I just really love the songs overall. They really add to the show, and it works as, instead of us getting monologues from her, we get these songs to kind of see how she's feeling, how she pictures it, and I definitely really love that. And as long as we get these songs throughout the show, I'm definitely going to love this show more and more as it goes on, because the songs are really one of the things that make the show so great. A lot of things make the show great, but the songs is definitely one of the top things that I absolutely love about the show, definitely. I think the songs are a hit, and they better keep them in because they are just fantastic, and they're all great songs. I really love the songs for this show, I have to say, and I definitely really do love that. And the weeks ahead look very funny. It looks like she's gonna start, it looks like next week she's gonna find out that Josh has a girlfriend, and she's gonna try to take this girlfriend under her wing and try to find out as much information as she can, and I definitely really do like that. It does seem she's gonna get crazier and crazier as the weeks go on, and I like seeing that. I think that's pretty funny, and, you know, I can understand if people don't like this character, but just know you're not really supposed to take her too seriously. It's a fun show. It's a show that I can have a lot of fun with. I do think it will have some dramatic moments here and there, but for right now, I really love this show. I think it's probably the best fall show I've seen so far. It has the best chance, and it definitely is the Jane the Virgin of this year. Like, it's Jane the Virgin I thought was gonna suck last year, and you guys know how much I love that show. In fact, I can't wait for it to return tonight, which it's returning right now. It's on right now. I'll probably watch it later. Not right now, but I'll watch it later, definitely. But I absolutely love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's a fantastic show. I can't wait to see how the rest of the show is. It's going to be a great season, and as you guys know, of course, I won't be reviewing the show individually. I will be reviewing the season as it goes on, but I'm also happy that they're bringing back musicals, like legit musicals. This felt like a Broadway show. It felt awesome, and I really did love that. So overall, guys, let me know what you guys thought of the pilot of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I absolutely loved it. Do you think this show's gonna be successful? I really think it will. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be, and I cannot wait for my next video because it will be for the season premiere of Fargo, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.